It's Barksdale Health Promotion going. As Barksdale Health Promotion, we are bringing you the Great American Smokeout. So each year, the American Cancer Association puts on an initiative to enhance or entice the want or the need to cease tobacco usage by all people on installation. So I have a good assistant with me. We got Smoking Susie right here. We are at our designated tobacco area, and so Susie right here is going to fire one up. So what we're going to try to demonstrate is what the effect of 3 cigarettes would equal in tar. So if you're a pack-a-day smoker, you can kind of get an idea of what 3 in a day would be. All right, so Susie has some Camel menthols. We're going to demonstrate how much tar is in 1 cigarette, and we'll fast forward it to show you how much 3 would be worth.
So when we squeeze it, we're going to get all of that in there.
So as she's smoking away, we're gonna get ready for the second and third effort. And you can see that this tube right here is already getting cloudy from the smoke and the tar associated. So she's almost done with number 1. We gotta change it out. All right, round number 2. So after number 1, you can see that there's slight tar buildup around the exit. Maybe you can see. And so we're gonna fire up number 2. We're gonna see what kind of impact that it's gonna have. So Susie, ready to go. Now it takes about 60 seconds for Susie to power smoke this thing. Okay, Susie is done with number 2. Good job, Susie. So at the end of number 2, the second cigarette, you can really start to see that the tube is getting pretty cloudy, and the buildup of tar just from that second cigarette out of the exit is getting pretty thick. All right, last one. Susie, finna light it up. Ah, damn wind. Man, we got all kind of bloopers. I feel like I really... Let's see if we got enough. I think she caught enough. So, third and final cigarette for old Smoking Susie. So you can see how at the back end, she's starting to get it done. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, third and final. All right, so let's see what we got. So after the third cigarette, you can see that this tube is no longer clear. It is very, very full of tar coming out the side, and lots of residue. So with 3 cigarettes out of 20, we have a tar buildup. And so with three cigarettes, so essentially a 1/7 of a pack, and then that being repeated for days and days and months and years, you can definitely have some respiratory issues. So what we want to do is we want to highlight all the positives of stopping tobacco use, and then how it's going to impact your life in the future. So this is Health Promotion with your Great American Smokeout 2020. You guys have a great holiday. So everybody's heard all the ways that, smoking is bad for you. Vaping is, we want to keep all things out of the lungs that are not air. Everybody's heard that until you just shut your ears off. So we wanted to come at it in a little bit of a different light. So what we wanted to do is focus on the positive things. And so what can you expect when you do quit? What are the positives? In this example, we're going to cover the positives of quitting tobacco. So in this example, this is an actual set of lungs. So one lung is a smoker's lung, and you can see the tar that is on there. I mean, these are actual lungs from a person. And this is a healthy lung, and you can see that the lungs, the size of the lung has decreased, and the color is far, far different. So usually a diseased lung has less capacity, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to be able to deal with any kind of cold and flu symptoms and any kind of physical exertion. The tobacco, or the tar affected lung, you can see that when it inflates, only certain parts of that lung will inflate, and you can see that this whole one side is not having it. And so trying to get all the air that you can into these lungs is going to be fairly difficult the more you smoke. There's a very, very big difference between the two, and that the healthy tissue, we gotta shut this one off. So the healthy tissue is gonna have much more elasticity, and check out the size when it gets fully inflated. The lung size is huge in comparison to the tobacco side. So we'll go back to the tobacco side so you can have some context for what we're just doing. So the tobacco side inflates about 50 to 60% of what the other one does. And you can see that bottom lobe is actually non-usable. So that one lung fully inflated, the other side has some function. And now, so being that most of the messaging you're going to see has a negative connotation to it, we're going to focus on what happens in the positive once you quit smoking or vaping. So within 20 minutes, your heart rate and blood pressure drops. Within 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood drops to normal. From 2 to 12 weeks, your circulation improves and your lung function increases. So that PT test that's looming, you could be there within the time that you're going to be allotted it. 1 to 9 months, coughing and shortness of breath decrease. The cilia in your lungs regain normal function and be able to handle mucus and reduce the risk of infection or pneumonia, especially when cold and flu season. Within a year, you're going to be reducing the risk of heart attack and stroke to 50% of a continuing smoker. Within 5 years, the risk of cancer is going to be cut in half. And then the stroke risk can almost be non-existent after 2 to 5 years. Within 10 years, your risk of dying is about 50% of a current smoker, and the risk of cancer is greatly decreased. And then within 15 years, your risk of heart disease is just like you never smoked. So The bottom line is your body can recover if you let it. And so you didn't fail quitting. You just haven't finished the process. With that demonstration, it's a physical view of how different the lungs actually are from a smoker's lung to a non-smoker's lung. But that is not to say that if you were to stop smoking today, that within the span of 15 years, you would go from that very dark colored lung to the lungs of a non-smoker. So your body does have the ability to get better. It is never too late to try. You just may not have tried the right approach. So this is Health Promotion with your 2020 Great American Smokeout.